So we're already back with a new chapter of Berserk. It's pretty good times, I must say. That's right, it was just a short 2-week break since the last update, which has thrown other projects I'm working on into chaos. Dead Rising 2, I swear to God I'll get to you eventually. But we must do what we must for peak. The last we left off, the situation in the Kushan Empire exploded into all-out fighting. Everyone was separated and trying not to get ripped apart by the army of trolls that were somehow summoned into the city. While Silat and Daiba were busy dealing with Roxas, Farnese managed to use the Four Kings spell to create a ward around the temple, preventing any more monsters from flooding the city, and giving the Kushans time to fend off the attempted invasion. Roxas is pushed into a corner with Silat going straight for a killing blow, but he managed to slip out and tries to find a place the spell can't reach, somewhere dark, and there is a single place he can go for that, the dungeon holding Guts. The last chapter ended on a cliffhanger, with Roxas slipping down into the dungeon to confront Guts, sensing he was down there, with the man himself in quite a pickle, as he has 0 weapons and is still chained up. Guts himself also wasn't in the mental state to fight, since he's been a broken mess ever since the events of Elfhelm, so this would either be the thing to motivate him to fight again, or show how truly fallen apart he is inside. There's a lot of questions still remaining, from what the hell just happened to if Roxas is going to be able to get away again, and what exactly is going to happen to Guts. There's a lot of factor at play here, and of course we're not going to get all the answers right away, but we can get some, especially for the more distressing cliffhanger. This chapter answers that in a way that's pretty damn shocking. So let's drop the teasing and get straight into it. So the chapter opens up on everyone in the temple clearing out what's left of the trolls, with Roxas no longer there. It's not very long at all before the monsters are completely cleaned up, torn to pieces by the soldiers and the Bakiraka, along with Serpico and Roderick. Farnese is there as well, but she's mainly focused on keeping the spell active, so she's not really doing any direct fighting. Regardless, Roderick thanks her for the help, even saying she came to the rescue, so the situation has calmed down enough for him to act cheeky again. The temple is now completely free of monsters, and Daiba notices the ward now being maintained by the mage students outside, and he admits he has never seen this before. The Four Kings ritual isn't something that Kushans ever learned, but the mages know this one by heart, so his theory they would be a massive help in the war was a good one. The spell is exceptionally powerful since it exists to ward off evil. We've seen multiple times it's saved the party from very bad situations, and that's just from Shrike and Farnese using it. They're very powerful magic users, yes, but now you have an entire army of mages that can help bolster it. It even burned Roxas, who is a pretty damn strong demon, so if it can give even war demons a headache, this is a trump card they don't want to lose. The rest of the trolls are burned away and the surviving Kushans give out a victory cry, beaten and battered, but still alive. The battle is officially over. Azan and Puck and Isidro watch, the boy admitting everyone did a good job in the fight. From the Kushans to the mage students, everyone pulled their weight. Puck even mentions that things have gone so well, Guts won't even have to clean up. Oh right, he forgot about Guts. Yeah, Puck rushes off, probably to make sure the big guy is okay, and the other two follow closely behind. They got so busy with the trolls and trying not to die, they completely lost track of the man who's been chained up in a cell without any way to defend himself, which, yeah, that's not a great thing right now. Roxas creeps inside the dungeon, Guts watching him slither closer, and he repeats the words from the last page of the previous chapter, that he's there at last. Roxas gets close enough to the cell that he can rip the bars apart. Now, we don't know what Guts meant when he thought about those words. Is he ready to fight? Gonna pull some trick to get out of this? Is the Beast of Darkness gonna take the reins? Roxas is hovering right in front of him. He should really figure out what he's gonna do, and fast. Wait, what? Angel of Death? What do you mean by that? Why isn't Guts getting up? This isn't funny, man. Like, he's right there. Hey, the guy's getting ready to attack. What are you doing? Seriously, this is a very bad man about to touch you in very bad ways. But Guts doesn't do anything. He's just sitting there, his head down, eyes closed, like he's waiting to die. Just as it seems the inevitable is about to happen, Silat shows up, stabbing Roxas through the back of the neck, and this strike hurts him pretty bad. Fountains of blood flying out, and him simply saying well done before melting into a puddle on the ground. It seems that Roxas is dead. Maybe. Not even Silat is really sure about that. We'll talk about that later, but for now, Silat reveals that he saw what just happened. Guts is still lost in his head, trying to process what he almost just did, but the other guy is not having it. Silat is pissed. Beyond pissed. The guy is furious, grabbing Guts and demanding to know why he just sat there. Was he really going to just let Roxas kill him? Is this a joke? The Tapasa and Daiba reach the dungeon in time to see Silat ranting at Guts, demanding an answer. The Tapasa pulls Silat off, though he's still screaming at the guy. the warrior that humiliated Silat multiple times, is now just sulking in a cell. He was gonna let himself get killed by a demon when he knows what would happen. Not just that he would go to hell, but the Kushans would lose out on an exceptionally powerful warrior at a time when they need every single advantage they can get. And it wouldn't be glorious death in battle. No, he would have committed suicide. Silat can only view this as cowardice. Guts would have let himself die to an enemy that he outclassed in every way. If Silat could beat Roxas, this should not have even been a problem for Guts. Silat officially beat Guts at something, and he's not happy about it. But Guts is too wrapped up in his thoughts to even acknowledge what's happening. The scene ending with the Tapasa trying to keep Silat back, and the puddle of what's left of Roxas just sitting next to Guts' feet. The rest of the city is slowly piecing itself back together now that the trolls have been defeated. Erica reuniting with Rickert, much to his delight. She's fine, but she's heartbroken about the attack. Even if they won, a lot of people are dead or wounded. It was not pretty. Not only that, but Silat's message has her worried. Is the Kushan capital going to become a war zone? Are they going to have to flee to somewhere else again? They've already ran from sanctuary to sanctuary. Rickert doesn't really have an answer for her. Simply hugging her as both realize the weight of what's happening. Even if they won now, the war is just beginning. A lot more people are gonna die before this is all over. And with Guts out of commission, things are gonna be hard. The mages are strong, yes, but magic requires a lot of setup. You still need guys with swords. Without one of the best swordsmen alive able to fight, they're at a disadvantage, to put it lightly. We then jump to Shrike, still being watched over by Morta and Evalira. She's still in the astral realm, moving through the air down the Dragon Road to its center, to the World Tree. And right under it, Falconia. She's finally in the belly of the beast, but she's on a mission. She will find Casca. And that's how the chapter ends. While the last chapter was a great rising up moment, this one was a painful crash down, reminding everyone that things are not going to be easy. This is a war against an enemy that can change reality, so the stakes are high and any number of terrible things can happen. We're already seeing the consequences just off this attack alone. A lot of the Kushans are dead and Guts is downright suicidal. They won, but it was a costly one. Sure, the party is fine, but the demons were able to kill multiple tribe leaders and massacre a chunk of the city. And now they know for sure, Guts is not going to be the rock they can rely on like he once was. It's not completely hopeless, the city is still alive despite everything, and we see that they can fight back. But this is just a single war demon that showed up. And we don't even know if Roxas is actually dead. Sure, he melted into a puddle, but the guy is slippery. He's shown an uncanny ability to survive mortal wounds, so he was brought back from the dead for this attack. And we've seen what happens when a demon is actually fully dead. Their soul is dragged into hell. All that's left is their human body. It's what happened with Wild and the Slug Count. So unless we see a portal to hell start pulling Roxas down into the depths, I'm not assuming a thing about whether he's actually gone for good. Especially since the way Silat killed him just seemed too simple. He stabs him through the throat. It's a good hit, yes, but all the other demons took way more punishment to put down. Guts basically had to tear them apart piece by piece before he could finally kill them. So Roxas going down from a sword to the throat when a goddamn rocket launcher couldn't kill him permanently, yeah, I'm not buying it yet. Hell, even the Kushans don't seem to believe the guy's dead. Daiba was quick to order the Tapasa to pull Silat back, since he was so pissed off at Guts he got distracted and forgot about Roxas. It's possible that Roxas isn't dead and he's biding time for another ambush. It's something to keep in mind. The guy is too weird to simply assume things. But let's all address the elephant in the room. Guts wanting to die. Yeah, that was a blow and a half to see. The guy is so broken up about what's happened he legitimately thinks death is better at this point. He hasn't been in a state like this for a very long time. The last time he decided to try to kill himself was when he was a kid, after Gambino died and he was chased out of his old mercenary band. He damn near let the wolves kill him, but kept fighting out of essentially reflex. Even he didn't know why he wanted to live so badly, considering what his life was at that point. But ever since, Guts never acted like this. Even after the eclipse, Guts never considered suicide. Instead, he drowned his other emotions in pure rage. So long as he's able to kill his enemy, he could keep going. But now that he knows he can't touch Griffith, even that coping mechanism doesn't seem to work anymore. So he lost Casca, presumed dead at this point as he doesn't know what actually happened after she was taken. And he couldn't lay a hand on his worst enemy, who destroyed the last sanctuary he hedged all of his bets to keep her safe on. Guts is so focused on the loss he suffered, his first major one in a very long time, he can't see the wins that everyone around him is getting. The Kushans repelled the monsters. The mages are going to teach the Kushans about their magic. The party excelled as warriors. Shrike is going out to find Casca, and Silat even killed a war demon right in front of him. but Guts can't stop looking at his own failure, that he screwed up and couldn't save the woman he loves. It was his job to protect her, and he failed, just like the last time. He couldn't do anything but watch. Really, the only hope he has is for Shrike to find Casca. If she can find her and return to tell Guts, it could be the spark to get him back on his feet. Not only that Casca's alive, but she's waiting for him to rescue her. Instead of drowning himself in fury and killing for the sake of vengeance, he would be fighting to save her, just like at the Tower of Conviction, when he had one of the greatest victories of his story. It's like what he was told at Elfhelm. He can either let his anger burn him up inside, or he can wield it for something greater. Let it control him, or control it, and focus it where it needs to go. Because as it stands, all that hatred he has is aimed at himself. He feels like a failure and that everything he worked for was pointless. Even after everything he's done, he couldn't keep Casca safe. But there is still a chance he can get her back, and he needs that news as fast as possible, because he's letting himself fall to pieces to the point of almost letting a demon kill him. He needs something to focus on, any kind of hint he can save Casca, even if they can't be together like how he wants, and honestly what Casca wants as well, so long as he can get her away from Griffith, that can do the job. Because the minute he finds out she's alive in Falconia, and she's subconsciously suffering and begging for Guts to rescue her, not even God himself could stop the man. He will go to war once again. A man at war has a license to act badly, and Guts is a master at impolite behavior. But that's only possible if he can get out of his own head and focus. Silat being genuinely insulted at his behavior is a great touch. Not only does it speak to the frustration at the situation, but it serves his character. Guts was a sort of inspiration for Silat, kind of like Isidro, but in an indirect sense. Guts humbled the man, and showed that he needed to become a better warrior if he was going to truly lead his people. Silat was kind of similar to Guts, really. Both were confident fighters that started from nothing. Guts being a nameless mercenary forced to fight from the moment he was born and then exiled from his childhood home, and Silat being the prince of a clan that was destroyed and turned into mere slaves. Silat was defeated by Guts, decisively so, and realized how far he was truly lacking in his skills. Not just being able to fight, but his mindset as a warrior. He needed to become smarter, judge a fight better, and actually study his opponents, not just write them off as unskilled savages. To humble himself and admit that there are enemies that can be clever, much more clever than they let on. This was the entire backbone to Silat's arc, and why he could improve his skills to the point of being able to take on a war demon. So saying the man that symbolized that for Silat being so broken that he would choose to die in the face of a demon? Yeah, that has to be infuriating. Especially since he doesn't know the full extent of why Guts is acting like that. All he knows is that Guts has been quietly sitting in his cell. He doesn't know about his relationship with Casca, the hell the man was put through getting her to safety, his battle with Griffith, building a bond with the party, losing Elfhelm. All he sees is this great warrior is no longer willing to fight, and that's disgusting to Silat. Guts can be described as a lot of things. Violent, crazy, a brute, a savage barbarian, a mad dog, a bad man, a good man, but this is the first time someone's ever truly seen him as a coward. It's a word that normally isn't even the same zip code as Guts. Sure, he's been scared before, terrified even, but he's never let his fear take control of his actions. Even his first fight with Zod, where he's trying his best not to get paralyzed by absolute horror, Guts moved despite his fear. But now, he's so beaten down that he was about to just cash out, even when he knows it's a bad time to do that. And Silat just sees a husk of a man, a husk that once was the guy that could beat his ass in both fights they had. We all know why Guts is actually this broken down, but Silat doesn't. Nor does he really care. This is not the time to fall apart, it's time to take a stand and fight. Of course, this raises another question. The Behelit. At this point, it's actually pretty safe to assume this isn't meant for Guts. It hasn't activated at all during his mental breakdown, and it left his possession after they took his items. It's had multiple opportunities to do something at this point, but it's still just a rock. So personally, I don't think this is Guts' Behelit. Now, this speaks to a misconception some fans have over Behelits and exactly how they work. Some think they just activate for whoever has it at the time, but that's not true. These are items of fate. They pick specific people to follow, and they stay with them until the exact worst moment in the target's life. Then they activate, and the user is given the chance to become a demon in exchange for the one thing they absolutely do not want to lose in life. The thing you would rather die than see taken away. Guts has been his absolute worst point than almost any other in the story. Even with the Eclipse, the guy could get drunk off vengeance and use it as a moment to inspire his journey. But now he doesn't even have that, so why isn't it working for him? Maybe the merging of the realms fucked with it? It's possible, but we're not really given any indication of that. It's possible, and this is just a theory I have at the moment. Maybe it's meant to go to Silat. The arc so far has done a lot to build on his character, building him up as this great leader that's slowly earning the respect he's been owed by his people. He's the one who led the resistance against Roxas, and rallied the city to organize and fight. He's been a key player for the plan to stop Griffith, being the spearhead to gathering an army and working with Daiba to rescue the Elfhelm mages. My theory states maybe Silat's chosen to hold the Behelit, since it would be the killing blow to the last chance at stopping the God Hand, since what is the only precious thing Silat has to sacrifice? His homeland. And we've seen he's not exactly a saint more than once. It's very possible this is a trick the God Hand is waiting to pull at the last possible second, because what's a rise without a fall? In a way, you can kind of see his story as being a little bit similar to Griffith, this lone underdog working his way up and becoming a legitimate leader. All it takes is pushing Silat into a corner, making him feel the whole war is hopeless and giving him that little whisper in his ear. That's not to say it's guaranteed to work, but the possibility is there. Now, this is assuming the Behelit belongs to him. It can still go to anyone else at this point. But for now, all we know is it's not for Guts, because there really isn't much more they could do to break the guy down. And it wasn't even there in the dungeon when he finally decided to die. If it was gonna pop then, it would have made its way over to him, and it would have activated. So, if not now, then probably never. Not for Guts, at least. So this chapter is a pretty heavy deflate from the optimism in the last one. A reminder that things are not going to be easy. This war is one of massive proportions, so while you can cheer for the small victories, you can't forget how costly even those can be, and those costs add up. So that's all I can say about this chapter. It's not as fast-paced and action-focused as the last few, but it serves to establish quite a bit more. That Shrike is now actually in Falconia looking for a Casca, that Guts is so defeated he truly thinks he deserves to die for his failure to save her, and that the Kushans are readying for all-out war, now confident they can win. Hopefully the next chapter isn't too far out. It'll probably focus on Shrike infiltrating Falconia considering the cliffhanger, and personally that's fine. It's been a while since we've seen what's going on over there, and getting an update on what's happening with Casca will be appreciated. Hell, there's a lot they can do with it considering we don't know the full extent of if a demon's able to see someone in the astral realm. Hell, we already have a character that flat out can with Sonya. She can see Shrike when she's in her form. So there could be a cat and mouse game where Shrike's trying to avoid Sonya while Sonya is actively looking for her to snitch to Griffith. The obvious thing to assume is she's probably going to find out about Casca and her brainwashing and try to break her out of it. Maybe even building a rebellion group inside the city to help when the Kushans invade. Hell, Luca and her girls are still there, maybe they can help too. A lot can happen, but we have no choice but to wait for now. Unfortunately, we're hit with that dreaded to be continued, so we don't know. Preferably, it won't be another year-long hiatus. Please. I'm begging you. But you know what else I'm begging for? Gamer subs. Use code TAL at checkout. We're now in March, already 3 months into the year. Don't go the rest of the year without gamer subs. Your gamer subs. Powders and cups. Cups and powders. Use the code. Use the code. Use the code or Casca will be brainwashed corrected forever. Till next time, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys. Hey loser, do you want a shirt? Do you want a t-shirt? I have shirts now. Look in the description for a link to a t-shirt you can buy. If you don't buy the t-shirt, I'll kill your family. If you don't buy the t-shirt, I'll poison your dog. If you don't buy the t-shirt, you're going to be the only person in town that does not have a t-shirt. Everyone's going to look at you funny. There's going to be social consequences to not having one of these t-shirts. I'm now making express threats of violence against you if you do not buy my t-shirt. I will call the police, tell them how you're not buying my shirt. They're gonna plant crack in your house. and they're gonna arrest you and then beat you up in a jail cell. Buy my shirt.